What is up, my nerd familia, and welcome back to another episode of Games y Más, the podcast where we're talking about all things board games, video games, and a little bit of pop culture. I'm your host, Vic, and today we're going to be continuing our theming of the spooky season. Yeah, we're going to be talking about some spooky things, or spooky themes, I guess you could say, or theme parks, huh? See what I did there? If you haven't read the title yet, or not, no, nothing? Okay, well. Anyway, guys, we're going to be talking about spooky theming here. We're going to be talking about theme parks in general during the spooky season. We're going to be looking at Knott's Scary Farm versus Universal Studios Halloween Horror Nights. More specifically towards the Southern California region, because that's the only ones I've been to, so that's the more experience I have on those. And so we're going to be looking at that, kind of giving our thoughts of what we thought of them and maybe breaking it down for you guys. And yeah, we'll go from there, and very excited to talk about that with you guys. You can find us on all socials. We're on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, YouTube, Spotify, Amazon Music, wherever you guys are listening to or watching. I want to say, first of all, thank you so much for tuning in to this episode and checking us out. If this is your first time, welcome to our little corner of nerdom here at Games y Más. And if you're a returning guest or a returning fan, as you could say, thank you so much for watching, listening. Don't forget to like and subscribe, hit that thumbs up, give us a rating, a 5-star rating on our wherever you're listening to. Help us grow the algorithm, help us grow the nerd familia, and we'd love to hear from you guys. So yeah, go ahead and check us out there. With all that being said, guys, pull up a chair, grab some dice, y acompáñame a jugar. Welcome, guys. Welcome again here to Games y Más. Hopefully my cat doesn't run around crazy. She's chilling right now, but she might get rambunctious later. So bear in mind if you hear that, her running around. We're gonna be looking at theme parks during the spooky season, during Halloween. A lot of you may have seen videos or maybe gone to theme parks like Horror Nights at Universal or Knott's Berry Farm or some other places around the nation. I'm not very familiar with a lot. Maybe some haunted hayrides, some haunted cornfields. You guys might be familiar with this stuff. We're going to be talking mainly on the big. I feel like if you're in the Southern California region, I think the big, huge two conglomerates, you could say, or two things that are vying for power are for the Horror Nights is Knott's Berry Farm and Universal Studios. And you have Six Flags, and then Disney's more for the kids and not as scary. But if you're looking for like horror and suspense and thrills, then Universal and Knott's are fighting for that. Who's the king or queen of the Horror Nights? And so as of this recording, I was able and privileged to go to both parks. I was able to check out Knott's Berry Farm and Universal Studios on their horrors and wanted on their horror theming, and wanted to share my thoughts. I'm pretty sure you guys listening or watching have maybe heard a podcast or seen some videos or some reviews on TikTok of this nature of kind of giving you what's better. Knott's Scary Farm is better, or Universal is better because it's got better theming, and pros and cons about each area. And so I wanted to give you kind of my opinions of what I thought about it coming in this year. And kind of, I was able to go to both. Usually around this time of the year, I usually get to go only to one. And being a big Universal Studios fan, I love Universal. I have not gone to Horror Nights recently. The last time I went was maybe about, I want to say 4 or 5 years ago, maybe 6 years ago, since I've gone to a Horror Nights. And I'll give my explanation why, but mainly I've been going to Knott's Scary Farm. A friend of ours, Alberto, who's no stranger to the podcast, we used to go together. Every year we would go to Knott's Scary Farm, and we would check out the stuff there. We haven't gone to Horror Nights together, but I was able to go to both. So reason for this episode is to talk about the pros and cons. And so we'll go and dive into a little bit. And before you guys are freaking out, like, oh, what's going on? Why is he choosing Knott's Berry Farm? I'm not choosing Knott's Berry Farm over Universal. I'm not choosing Universal over Knott's Berry Farm. I'm getting that out of the way. I'll let you guys know that I like both of them equal. They're great. Some have some pros and cons of others. But I'll let you guys decide what you think is better. And leave a comment below if you've gone to Horror Nights or to Scary Farm. Let us know if you guys, which one do you think is better? What have you enjoyed? What are some memories you've had? I have some memories from Universal, and I have some memories from Knott's when I used to go in the earlier years back when I had less bills and less worries and more free time. So yeah, let us know in the comment below here. Not Scary Farm and Universal Studios Halloween Horror Nights. Been around for a while, and if you've gone, you know that it's not kid friendly. So fair warning to you guys if you've never been, it's not very kid friendly. But although I've seen a lot of recent times, I saw a lot of families bringing their kids to that. So I guess that works. So yeah, for the past couple of years, I've been going mainly to Not Scary Farm. And here's my reasoning for why I've been going to Not Scary Farm. I've been going to Not Scary Farm because I've liked the originality of it. Now, when I first started going back in, I want to say 2017, maybe 2017, 2016 is when I started kind of going consecutively, started going a lot. It was good. I enjoyed it. It was fun. They had a lot of creativity, a lot of cool things. They had some fun mazes there. And the whole park was a scare zone, which I thought was really cool. Universal Studios has like those little sections of scare zones that you can walk through the park, but you'll have those empty areas where no one's gonna come and get you. Not Scary Farm, the whole park pretty much is a scare zone with like more heightened areas for sure. I think when you go down like Calico, like the main downtown like little like western area, that's like the more heightened horror spots that you like where more of the scare actors are, but they're around in sections and areas, so no spot is safe at that park. So don't think you can get away from hiding from the scare actors there because they're everywhere. But Universal, they have those little pockets and stuff, which personally I enjoyed Knott's because I like to be thrilled as I'm going and keep myself on my toes as I'm going traversing the park to get to the next maze. So I really enjoyed Knott's. When I first started going to Universal, I'm a big fan of the slasher movies, the old slasher movies like Jason, as those are watching, I got my little Jason shirt on. Like Jason, Friday the 13th, Mike Myers from Halloween, Freddy Krueger and Nightmare on Elm Street, Chucky and Child's Play, even The Exorcist. They had a lot of those old mazes there where they're bringing back the classic, those classic slashers. That's the first time I got to go, and I loved it. I think like Chucky took over the Terror Tram, and so it was very fun. I enjoyed it. I was freaking out because I was spooked out because those were IPs that really scared me as a kid, and now as an adult, getting to see them and kind of them popping out to you, it was very frightening. I enjoyed it, and not to mention, shout out to those that have gone in the earlier years of Universal. If those of you guys that remember the Bill and Ted show. That show was so awesome, was good, and made fun of like pop culture icons and things that were going on around that time of decade whenever the show would play. So like 2017, if you went to go see the show, they'd make fun of stuff that was going around in pop culture in 2017. And yeah, no one was safe. They made a lot of fun stuff, and I like the big dance numbers and the music, and I'm a big fan of Bill and Ted, so I got to see Bill and Ted. I was like, yeah, party on, dudes. Be excellent to each other, and so I thought it was great. Not Scary Farm has The Hanging, which is kind of the same thing, kind of their version of Bill and Ted's. That's still going on right now. And I got to see it for the first time, actually, this year. And it was pretty funny. There was a lot going on. It was just chaos. Me and Alberto looked at each other and we're like, there's a lot going on. There's a lot going on in this. Yeah, so it was interesting. It was fun. Some parodies. I got a couple chuckles out of there, but again, it wasn't as great as Bill and Ted. It wasn't very... for me, it wasn't very relatable, I guess, because, Bill and Ted, I love the movies. And so I was able to, captivate more of that. I have some comparisons, guys, for you guys that I took notes of in case you're wondering, like, okay, well, what's better then? Is Horror Nights better or is Not Scary Farm better? Again, my personal opinion, I like both. And I'll give you my final verdict at the end of this year, what I think was better. But as of this recording, I looked up some information here, guys, so you can kind of compare and contrast if you guys are undecided, haven't gone to Horror Nights or Not Scary Farm, go check them out. But here's some statistics or some numbers for you guys, if you like. Horror Nights, if you were to buy a ticket, let's say I did it for Halloween. If we were going to go on Halloween, let's say you and I decided, yeah, let's go hang out. We got a party together, and we decided to go on Halloween. Universal Studios Horror Nights is looking at $92 if you're going to go for on Halloween. As of now, prices can fluctuate as the day goes, as the time gets closer to the date. I know the prices go up. So as of now, as of this recording, it was $92. So if you go check it out now and it's more, don't crucify me. Don't yell at me. I just checked it out as of this recording. It's $92. Not Scary Farm is looking at, again, on Halloween, is looking at $69. Cheaper, a lot cheaper for sure, at Knott's if you were to go on Halloween. So I'll leave that to you guys to decide. I did also research kind of like if you wanted to splurge. Let's say you wanted to splurge and you wanted to go all out and say, hey, I want to get the cool experience. I want to get the VIP tour or VIP experience of going to Horror Nights or Not Scary Farm. So I looked up. They do offer some cool packages that you can look up, that you can book, and they'll give you a lot of cool things there. For Horror Nights, Universal Horror Nights, they have something called the RIP Tour, the RIP Tour. This includes a special tour guide with you, a guy that will guide you to and from the mazes to the or the walkthroughs. Side note, I don't know why they call them mazes. They're not really mazes when you go into these houses, walkthroughs. Because you're not like getting lost. It's just a straight path that guides you through the whole thing, and that's it. So you're not really getting lost. I don't know why they call them mazes. I can understand if it's like a corn maze or like a one of those haunted corn mazes where you kind of like can get lost. But call them mazes at Horror Nights and at Scary Farm, Not Scary Farm. I wouldn't go that far. I call them walkthroughs. So we're gonna call them walkthroughs. So at these walkthroughs, so at the RIP tour, you have a tour guide, you have a group with you. Maybe it depends on who's on your party, and if it's maybe like 2 of you, then they might bunch you up with like maybe 6 or 7 other people, and you get to go, and this tour guide will guide you everywhere, and you get exclusive VIP front of the line to these walkthroughs, even more so than the express pass holders. So if you're a VIP tour, you're getting like first dibs of everything before everyone, even the express holders, which is pretty cool. And then you get your own little studio car trolley you get to drive around in when you're going on the Terror Tram. You get to walk on the set of the Nope set. If you guys have gone to the studio tour, you guys will understand that you get to go through the Nope set and check out the actual set, and they have some things there that I won't spoil if you've never been to, so you go check it out. But if you're on the RIP tour, you get to walk through that. And they'll feed you. You get a special dinner that you get to eat there, and I believe that's it. There might be some other things. If you've done the RIP tour, let me know what else some amenities you can have as well. So that, with all that included, we're looking at $569 if you want to splurge. That is as of this recording. Again, they can fluctuate, they can go up, but that's pretty hefty. I'm not going to lie. I have been tempted to look at this and maybe do it once, just to do it. So let's just say that I did it once, but I wasn't going to. And being a platinum annual pass holder for Universal, you get included a free ticket to Horror Nights. So I just went for free. So I didn't want to spend $500 when I could just go for free for one night. And it'd be nice to have the dinner and the tour guide and the VIP access to all the mazes, the walkthroughs. They say, look what you guys have me doing. You have me saying mazes. The walkthroughs, VIP, front of the line, express, first come, be the first ones to do the walkthroughs. Be nice to do that. Yes, definitely walk through the Nope set. That'd be pretty awesome. I've never got to do the VIP tour in general that they offer at Universal Studios in general. Outside of Horror Nights, they have a VIP tour where you get to go walk around some of the back lots and check out some of the cool stuff. Again, front of the line access to all the rides and a tour guide. Again, those are pretty pricey. They're almost pretty much. I think they're like $500, $600 to go do that. So my wife and I, Liddy and I, have been thinking about doing it once just to say that we did it. But yeah, $569 if you want to splurge. RIP tour, check it out. Now let's look over to Not Scary Farm. This is it's called the All Inclusive, and now this was shocking to see that they include all this. But now with Not Scary Farm, you have the All Inclusive comes with the ticket to Not Scary Farm. It includes parking, so that you get free parking, front of the line pass, to all the walkthroughs, and they include a dinner for you. So a little bit of extra there with the parking, because you know how theme parks are with these parkings. Looking at you, Disney, they're pricey, and so all that included. I was looking at that and I was like, oh snap, Knott's is offering a little bit more, trying to compete with Universal. The price for that, shockingly enough, $229 for all of that for one night. Not bad for everything you get for it. I think that's a great deal. just the parking itself, just like, oh, that includes, and then you get a dinner and front of the line pass. And bear in mind, the front of the line passes, I believe for both the RIP tour and the all inclusive package for Not Scary Farm include front of the line passes for the rides too. So if you want to go ride the rides, you can go ride them. Now, here's where it differs. I think, I'm not sure. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe the RIP tour, when you get the front line pass, it's only a one-time use. You get to go once, and I think it is true because when you're with your tour guide, you're on a schedule. Your tour guide's going to go, hey, we're going to hit this maze up. We're going to go this maze. We're going to do this and this and this. Now you can deviate from the group and do your own thing. You can, but if you want to get the full benefits, you got to be with the group. So if the group says, hey, you can go on rides, we're going to do this, and that's it. If you want to go redo the rides again, you might have to talk with your tour guide and say, hey, I want to do this ride again. Now, with the all-inclusive package, the Fast and Fright Lane at Knott's and Scary Farm, that includes the rides, but that includes unlimited. So you can go as many times as you want, do the mazes as many times as you want, go ride the rides as many times as you want. Whereas Universal, they do offer an Express Unlimited package for Horror Nights, but it's a little bit, again, more. You're talking about paying more bit for that. Whereas Knott's, you just buy the Fast Pass, and that includes everything unlimited. There's no like different tiers and packages, which I think is pretty cool that Knott's offers that. And so $229, not bad for that compared to the RIP tour, which is $569. I still love you, Universal, but it's pretty pricey for what we're getting here. Now, if we're looking at the type of mazes or the mazes that mazes. Come on, Vic. It's not called mazes. It's called a walkthrough. We're looking at the walkthroughs here at each comparing the walkthroughs for each of the parks. Universal currently has 9 walkthroughs for this year. At the time of this recording, there was 9 walkthroughs here. Maybe 8 if we're not including the Terror Tram, but I guess the Terror Tram is a walkthrough because you get off and walk through the sets and stuff. So 9 walkthroughs, whereas at Not Scary Farm, we're looking at 10. So 1 more. So Knott's is beating it by 1. All great walkthroughs as well. One thing to note though is if you've been going frequently to either of these parks, especially if you've been going frequently to Not Scary Farm yearly to Not Scary Farm, you will notice that this year, I believe 3 of the 10 walkthroughs are repeats from the previous years. You will notice that 3 of these walkthroughs are the same. When Alberto and I went this year, we skipped those 3 because we've already seen them. We already know what it is. I'm pretty sure nothing's changed, so we decided to check out the new one. So fair warning for that one. For Universal though, I believe only 1 of those walkthroughs was the same, and that's a Scarecrow one that's been done in the previous years. The other ones have been new, like the Five Nights at Freddy's, the Terrifier, the Fallout, Monstro. I believe they did Monstro before, but it was just La Llorona this time. It was called Monstro Latin American Ghost, which I personally loved. I thought that was great. That was phenomenal. That was such a good one. And then you also have Poltergeist and the Terror Tram, which is the Blumhouse Terror Tram, where you get to see all the productions from all the Blumhouse movies if you're a fan of Blumhouse. And if you're wondering what is Blumhouse, they're the studios that's made they made Black Phone, they made Megan, they made The Exorcist, the newest one. So they have some pretty good movies. I'm not a big fan because some of their movies are getting a little cheesy, but they still produce some good stuff. But again, and with that being said, also comes with, I wasn't a big fan of the Terror Tram. I thought it was kind of the scare factor wasn't there. It was too wide open, too many people everywhere. It was super crowded. You could see stuff going away, miles away. As for the times, if you're looking for what are the times here, Universal Horror Nights, it opens up at 6:30. I think you can get in as early as 6:30, and then they're open till 2 a.m. With Not Scary Farm, they're open at 7, and they close at around 2 a.m. Depending on, I think Wednesdays and Thursdays, it fluctuates between 1 and 2 a.m. I think Fridays and Saturdays and Sundays, it's 2 a.m. So you have that time frame there as well. Or if you get the early access, which I was privileged enough to get for both the parks, you get an hour and a half in early. So at Not Scary Farm, we got to go in at 5. And at Universal Studios, we got to go in at 5 as well. And I would highly, highly, highly recommend, if you're going, to get the early access. Pay a little extra. I think for Universal, I ended up paying $30 to go extra. Now, It was cheaper, but I waited long. I waited too long, so as the day got closer, the price went up. I kept forgetting about it. I could have paid, I think, as low as $15. So if you buy in advance, you can get as low as $15. But if you wait, you're gonna probably end up paying like $30, like I did. And they do sell out quick. So same with the express passes at Universal. They sell out quick. A lot of the tickets are selling out. Knott's Berry Farm, not as much. Again, Universal's big production value. It's up there. It's in your face. So more people want to go to that. Not Scary Farm. There's not very big IPs that everyone's familiar with. Maybe like the Boogeyman. But that's the only thing I can think of that's there. Now I gave you the statistics. I gave you the numbers. I'll let you decide where you guys want to go, where you guys are getting your bang for your buck for. I'll give you kind of my thoughts as we kind of are rounding off this podcast a little bit. I know it's a bit of a short one, but I wanted to give you a quick one for you guys to listen to. Here we go. I'm a big Universal fan. I love Universal Studios. Prefer it over Disneyland. Sorry, guys, if you're a Disney adult, I am sorry, but I am a Universal freak. I guess you could say that, or that's not a good word to say, but I'm a Universal stan. I love Universal. I love the theming. I love everything about it. You guys have heard it enough on previous episodes, and if you haven't, go check out those episodes. But this year, okay, background. I've preferred, in the previous years, I preferred Knott's better over Universal. I know, gasp. How could he say that? He's a Universal guy. I'm turning off this podcast. Hear me out real quick. I've enjoyed Knott's mainly because of the originality of the content and stuff. Now, the production value, yes, I will give it to Universal. They have better production, more budget. Knott's Scary Farm, I think it's more original, I feel like it's more immersive. When it comes to these walkthroughs, I'll give you a quick example. In the earlier years, when I first went, my first year, I was blown away about all the cool stuff that we got to do. We did this walkthrough called Trick or Treat. The story is you're going in trick or treating, and enter this haunted house, and you're wondering what's going on. Now, the cool thing about this is that on this walkthrough, you get these little flashlights that you get to look around. And they turned off the lights, and you get to walk through with the flashlights, and they had little sensors. They would vibrate sometimes when you're looking around. Oh man, it was creepy. I enjoyed it. It was awesome. It was cool. Very immersive. I was freaking out the whole time. Certain sections, my light would start flickering, and I'm like, oh, snap, what's going on? It was good. And then the scare actors were coming out. Oh man, I enjoyed it. It was great. Then they had another one, which is called it was called like the Paranormal Inc. It was where like you play as like these investigators going through this haunted like warehouse or something like that of this nature, and like you had this really cool pre-show that they showed, and then you had to like go into the walkthrough. Again, very immersive, very inclusive. I thought I was very immersed into that world. It was really awesome. And then thirdly, they had this one thing that I'm so bummed out that they took out, but they had like this zombie type of walkthrough where they gave you this laser gun. Now you walk. Now the story is we're part of like this group that is trying to survive the zombie apocalypse, and we got to make our way through the city, and we had some mission. It was awesome. We got these cool little like rifle like laser guns, and then the zombie actors had like these collars on them, and you had to shoot the collar. And if you shot the collar, you would get points on your gun, and you would score points throughout the walkthrough. And at the end, you'd see what your score was, and you can compare with your other friends. Even if you shot the scare actors not from the collar, they would still react to getting shot. I thought it was very immersive. That was so awesome, so unique. Not Scary Farm. If you ever watch this, or Not Scary Farm, bring that back, man. That was awesome. That was so cool. I enjoyed that. That was man, that was great. That was a phenomenal walkthrough that I enjoyed. That I very incorporated yourself. Again, awesome work on there, you guys. So that's why I prefer Knott's. And again, the whole thing with the scare zone, the whole park being a scare zone, fogging up the whole park, and you never know if a scare actor is going to come out at you, was awesome. Kept me on my toes, kept me up and like alert. It was great. It was awesome. They had some fun shows as well that they did there, and again, the fact that we got access to the rides to go unlimited times, again, another plus. So I enjoyed it. I've leaned more towards Knott's, especially if every year when people go, you want to go Horror Nights? I'd be like, nah, I'd rather go to Knott's because one, it was cheaper, and two, there was more benefits you can get from. Now, this year though, I went both, and I'm preferring Universal here. Now, again, mainly because I did have a free pass, so a free ticket, so I was able to go, and I got the early access. I was able to do all the mazes, walkthroughs. I'm gonna put like a counter of how many like times I've said mazes. the walkthrough, I was able to do all the walkthroughs. No hassle. I know maybe some of you that are watching have seen the TikToks or the Instagram reels of like all the huge lines and like the wait times being like 200 plus hours, which is very true. When we went, it was pretty busy. Not as crazy as like these videos, I guess, because I'm pretty sure when they filmed those shorts, it was probably like the beginning of the night and when everyone was like opening night and everyone was going crazy. When we went, it was crazy a little bit. I think the longest wait was Five Nights at Freddy's at a 200-minute. No, it wasn't 200 minutes. It was like a 180-minute wait, which is pretty long. Which is pretty long. But we had the express passes as well, so we were able to go and cut the line. Express pass said it was 30 minutes, but we didn't end up waiting. We waited like 5 minutes, and we were able to get on and do the maze. Maze. Here we go. Count it. Do the walkthrough. And honestly, with the early access, like we only had to use our express pass like twice, to be honest, because we were able, by the time it opened up to the general public, we were halfway done. We were almost done with all the walkthroughs, and so that was phenomenal. Now the production value was good. It was great. It was phenomenal. I enjoyed it. I think Knott's kind of lagged it this year. When we went, I wasn't as thrilled. I checked out the new original walkthroughs they had there. Again, wasn't as wowed as I normally would be when I've gone to Knott's. They had a lights out section, kind of like when I was explaining with the walkthrough with the trick or treat where they turned off the lights. They had one of the walkthroughs that did that, but it wasn't until like 11. And when we did the walkthrough, we were done by we got early access, so we got to do it right away. It was like 6, and they're like, "Oh, come back at 11, and we'll have the lights out." I'm like, "I'm not coming back at 11. By the time I do, it's gonna be crowded, and it's gonna be such a long wait. I'm not going to do it. Like, you guys should have just been doing the lights out constantly." So I was disappointed in that because I was really looking forward to it. And I was even looking forward to that walkthrough, and it was a bit of a letdown, unfortunately. But Universal, you're not safe. Five Nights at Freddy's, bit of a letdown. I was looking forward to that. I really wanted to check out Five Nights at Freddy's. I'm a big fan of the IP. I've played the games. I've watched the movies. Awesome, very frightening. I went, did the walkthrough, and the beginning was cool because you got to see the animatronics, you got to see Freddy and Chica and Bonnie and all of them. It was awesome. And then as you continued through the walkthrough, I was like, okay, this is less frightening. It's more for the kids, more for the IP for the kids. So I was a bit let down. Now, Monstro, the Latin American Ghost walkthrough, that one freaked me out. It's like these actors were like ready to like pincer attack you with scares, because man, I went with some coworkers and one of them got scared in front of me and I was like, "Oh snap, he got you." And then the one just immediately came right up to my face and I was like, "Ah," like freaking out. Oh man, it was great. I thought it was phenomenal. It was good. That one was my favorite of all time. I will say I did the Poltergeist one, and I have not seen the movies. I'm sorry, guys. I've not seen the Poltergeist movies. I haven't seen the old one. I haven't seen the remake, so I don't know much about the story of the Poltergeist. And when I did the Poltergeist maze, here we go, count it, walkthrough, I was a bit like, I don't know what's going on. I don't understand. I'm pretty sure if you've seen the movies, you would be like, "Oh yeah, that's fun. I didn't get it. I left that walkthrough going, I don't get it. Same thing could be said about the Fallout walkthrough. If you've never seen the show, you are not going to understand what's going on. You're going to be like, "Well, I don't get it. What's going on?" It's scary because some of the actors are coming out, but you don't understand what the lore is, what the story is. And it's pretty cool because it guides you through the whole episodes. And so, you're not going to understand. My coworker was asking me, like, "I don't get it. What was going on?" I'm like, "Oh, you have to watch the show to understand. You don't even have to watch the video games. You play the video games. You just need to watch the show for the walkthrough, because the walkthrough is based off of the show." Terrifier, again, if you're not a familiar fan of the movies, you might not understand what's going on. But again, they made it more of like just based off of Art the Clown. So if you're familiar with Art the Clown and how crazy it is, you'll understand some of the stuff that's going on in that walkthrough. It does smell a little bit in there, which is, you go through like this little like toilet area, like this bathroom area, and it smelled like really rank. And I was like, "Oh, geez." And you do get a little bit of wet in there. They spray you kind of to simulate the blood and stuff that's going on. In most areas too, a lot of places where they were simulating blood, I was getting wet. I was like, "Oh snap, what is going on?" So I was getting immersed there. So all in all, Universal took over. Universal took over this year. I think they did a better job production-wise, with originality maybe a little bit, especially with the Monster one. I think that was good. The bigger IP, once again, I was let down for sure. not Scary Farm. I think the one that stood out to me the most was this one called like Memento, or it was this one where it's like remembering. I forgot, like going through the decades. Like you're going through the decades, and like each decade is like something scary or whatever. And at the end, they had this graveyard, and they had tombstones of all the mazes. Here, I almost said maze. All the walkthroughs of all the previous years at Knott's, and like Alberta and I are like, oh, that's the man. That's so. So we're like pointing it out, like that's so cool. That's the only thing that kind of stuck out with me. There was like a hotel one, and that one was lame because they just chokehold everything because like they let everybody in, and we're like chokehold in the middle, just waiting to keep the line moving. And that they did it a lot at Universal too. So Universal, you aren't safe from that. They do a lot of chokehold where they just let a bunch of people in, and then to the point where like you just stop in one area and you're just there waiting, and you have somebody scare you, and you're like, oh, okay, and then they keep coming out. I'm pretty sure you've seen memes and TikToks and videos of, when you're waiting in one of these haunted or these scary walkthroughs, and the character comes out, you're like, oh, you get scared the first time, the second time you're like, okay, and the third time you're like, all right, we get it, okay, I had a lot of those moments at both parks, so there it is. And so maybe they got to figure out a system. I understand you got to get the line moving, you got to keep going, you got to keep, you don't want to get those wait times super high up, but moderate it. And then I understand that also there are some people that are frightened and they stop. They gotta you just go, just gotta keep going. They'll scare you. That's the point of the job. Their point is to scare you, and you get scared. You freak out and keep going. Don't just stand there and freeze. Keep going. I know some people might freeze. That's your tendency. I understand, but we gotta keep moving. There's people that you're holding up the line sometimes, as awful it is to say. And a side note, if you're one of those people, I'm talking to you guys, maybe, and to you ladies as well. That are like, I'm too cool for this, and you go into these walkthroughs, you're like, whatever, and they scare you, and you're like, what's up, and trying to like act tough and stuff, and be all cool, whatever, and be all trying to look like you're a badass in front of your woman or your date or whoever you're with. Guys, act scared, at least act frightened. These are actors that are working. If I can put in perspective for you guys, these are actors that are working, that are they're on the job, and their job is to try to scare you, to be frightening. And if you're not acting scared, then you're either you're saying that the actor's doing a horrible job at trying to scare you, or B, you're just ruining the fun of it. You're paying all this money to get scared, to go be scared. Don't try to act up and guard and be all tough. Be like, what's up? There are times where if they scare you, you're like, oh, okay, whatever, I saw it coming. You're not as scared, but if you can see it coming, or if you can act scared, try to act scared, because it'll be a compliment to the actors. Letting them know that they're doing a good job, that they are, their dress up is good, their makeup is good, everything looks frightening. They're frightened. They did a good job coming out at the right time. It takes practice. It takes a lot of time and repetition to do that, and they're doing that constantly. So they probably get tired. They don't want to scare all the time for 8 hours straight, or for how long the park is open. If you're going, act scared. Try to be scared. It's okay if you're scared. It's part of the reason why you go. You go there to get scared, freaked out, jump scared. I go there. Again, and believe me, I used to be the same way. I used to be one of the guys like, oh, whatever. Come on, I'm not scared. Keep going. Just keep going, whatever. Yeah, oh, scared, whatever. Now I'm up to the point where like I'll act scared. I'll jump scared. Oh, that was good. And compliment them as well. That was a good one. Scare them. They remain character and stuff. So, act scared, guys, and stuff. So that'll be it for this episode here, guys. My personal take, I enjoyed Universal this year. I still enjoyed Not Scary Farm, but I'm very curious to hear your guys' thoughts. What are your favorite moments at Universal or Not Scary Farm? Which one do you prefer better? Or is there one that's from this that you prefer? Do you like Six Flags, Fright Fest? Do you prefer just the simplicity and, the childlike mild timidness of the scariness of spookiness from Disneyland? Is there any other place? Is 17 Doors really good? Let us know. Let us know in the comments below. What are your favorite haunted experiences or scary experiences that you do? The ones that you signed the waiver and stuff like that. Let me know in the comments below. Let me know some experiences. And yeah, I'm very curious to hear what you guys' thoughts. If you made it this far, guys, thank you so much for listening. Thank you much for supporting the pod. I believe we're almost to 170 subscribers on YouTube. So thank you guys so much for that. That's all you guys. I love you guys. You guys are awesome. Thank you for the support. I love chatting with you guys about board games, pop culture, video games. I'll chat with you guys all day long. You just leave a comment below and we'll engage in some dialogue. DM us. Again, you can follow us. We're on Instagram, Facebook, Spotify, YouTube, Amazon Music. You can find us at Games and Must Pod. That is at Games and Must Pod. You can also email us at gamesandmustpod@gmail.com if you've got some ideas you want to throw our way or something you want to if you just want to just chat. Email us too. You can always DM us. You can always message us. I'm always happy to talk with you guys. If you just want to chat about whatever, I'm always open to chat about whatever. Or if you want to come on the pod, I don't think I even mentioned this, but if you guys ever want to come on the pod and talk about share your stories, talk about anything that's nerdy, let us know in the comments and DM. I'd love to have you guys on here. We'll make it work and we'll chat and have a good time, and we'll go from there. So again, don't forget to like and subscribe, hit that 5-star rating, share with anyone that you think might enjoy this episode, especially if there's some spooky fans out there that want to get some information on these parks. Maybe this might be helpful. If not, there's some other videos that 100% do better justice than I did. I probably butchered it, but I would just give my opinions, guys. I'm sorry. Thank you guys so much for listening, y nos vemos para la próxima.